My name's Abby, as you might have established. I'm going to talk to the people on YouTube first. So, hi, everyone. You've just watched a lot of people hand out clay. Um, I want to think about you first at home with your glass of water. And I want you to just place your finger, one or two fingers, in the glass of water if you want to, and use your hands kind of as the clay. So I want you to press your finger, first of all, into the wetness and then place it against your palm and mark that contrast between wet and dry. Just sit with that for a moment. You can trace little sluggy trails up and down your palm. You can, if you want to look at your hand, you can see where the line between wet and dry starts and ends. And for those of you who have a piece of clay, I want you to do something very similar. I want you to press your hand against the clay, press a finger against it and feel the texture. Is it wet or is it dry? Is it slippery or is it smooth? Dig your fingers in a little bit harder into the clay or into your palm. And does it make an imprint yet? Is it hard or is it soft? Is it becoming warm? And so while you're tethering yourself to that clay or to your clay fingers, I am gonna have a quick content note. So I know not everybody loves slugs, and I am going to be talking about them a lot today. If slugs is a topic, I know for some people it's a genuine phobia or something, or it doesn't matter how genuine, sorry, that's very medical language. If you don't want to hear about slugs, you're welcome at any point to leave or to turn off your YouTube stream for a minute or just step away from it. Anytime throughout, that's fine. And for those of you who would like to stay and think about slugs with me, use the clay or your palm as your anchor. Come back to it if there are moments that feel uncomfortable or disgusting. And if you want to, see if you can fashion yourself a slug. If you're at home, see if you can draw the shape of a slug. Feel that shape in your palms as well. So I'm going to be reading from my upcoming book, which is being published by Makina Books in July. It's called Slugs, a Manifesto. So I'm going to start with a disclosure. I didn't always love slugs myself. Maybe that's why I'm being so wary of people's discomfort here. As a child, I was terrified of them. Really, really terrified. So I'm gonna read you an extract from Slugs, a Manifesto that's entitled, I fall into a world of viscous textures, mushrooms, slime mold, bip, or how I learned to stop worrying and love the little bastards. 1. During the first UK lockdown, I become obsessed with slug superhighways, the cracks between my balcony paving slabs. I watch slugs squeeze and speed themselves into the gap and whiz along the slick lines at super speed, something to do with being able to push off two surfaces at once, the perfect width of crack, the thick, mossy lining lubricating their way. By the end of summer, my balcony glistens. 2. I taste my first dirty martini. As the night progresses, they keep getting dirtier, scummy on the top and thick with olive brine. Dirtier, dirtier, we cry to the barman, who can barely keep up with our greed at this salinated liquid. Slug juice. I wiggle my tentacles and suck. I don't recall getting home. 3. Slugs begin to penetrate my dreams. I am coaxing them out from my father's garden into glass display boxes, belly up. I am asking them to please stay still so I can pin them in place like butterflies, but they do not stop moving. 4. I buy a slug book to learn more about what I'm looking at. I want to learn how to draw anatomically correct creatures. It is the most well-researched overview of British slugs and their life cycles, and the blurb still focuses on extermination and population control. Like, you can love them, but not too much. 5. My wrists swell up and my hands stop working. I cannot open a jam jar or type. The NHS is in crisis, and it is several months before I get the steroid shot that helps them go down again. Even then, progress is slow. I spend the next year learning to trust my hands again. Slugs become my muse, forgiving, pliable, and soft, but surprisingly complex. I take wet clay and fashion a slug a week. Clay is the perfect material of the earth, already halfway to slug form before I begin working it. I push with my fingers and the clay pushes back. I try ultra-realistic ones and cartoon slugs. I focus on their unexpected corners, the lines where they move from flat foot to rounded, slimy back. So this is what happened next. My slug sculptures are commissioned to exhibit at the entrance of a major art fair. Not in the fair, I might add, just at the entrance, for people to pass on their way to spend hundreds of thousands on a Damien Hirst. It feels a bit like being a courtesan sitting at the gates of the king. Pick me, pick me. To be a marginalized girlie in the art world can feel this way sometimes. You're the weekend oddity, increasing the diversity quota of the main event. I am white and blonde, and occasionally pass as straight and abled, perhaps the most palatable form of diversity tick box they could possibly get away with. This can be a cruel trick. You're close enough to peep through the doorway, but never quite invited all the way in. I decide to slip in through my slugs. I spend months sculpting them, hanging from mucus threads of nylon. I shape them to be kinetic, twirling from the sky in a seductive rhythm. Oh, I feel like I should just say there's a whole bit before this in the book where I describe slugs that hang. There's like leopard slugs have sex hanging from mucus threads in the air. That feels important if I'm going to describe these hanging slugs as a little side note for you. I shape them to be kinetic, twirling from the sky in a seductive rhythm. I want to make so many slugs that they intrude on the space. They take over the fair. I'm allowed to bring 6. It is the height of summer and my studio is hot, hot, hot. The clay cracks and flakes as the slugs are still coming into being. I heap on the moisture and wrap them in plastic bags, but it doesn't stop them crumbling. I wish I could do with my sculptures what the slugs would, squeeze down between cool pavement slabs to lurk in the moist, cold dark until sundown. There are a lot of dramas with hanging slugs from the ceiling of a white tent at an art fair. I have nightmares about one falling and landing on someone's head. Not a wet mollusky lump, but a skull cracked open on a slug spiraling tail. The art fair insurers express anxiety that the nylon mucus threads suspending the creatures might catch on fire and burn down a Damien Hirst. The technician sends me a spray bottle of fire retardant. After 1,000 emails, everything is okay again. I go to the fair to see my sculptures. I've never been to an art fair before, but 2 streets away, I know I'm near from the aroma, wafts and waves of perfume. It smells expensive. I follow it. The scent gets stronger, and then the sound. Clop, 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 clop. High-heeled boots on the pavement. I think designer shoes must be built to have more of an echo. There's a whole orchestra of uncomfortable-looking booties. It gets louder as I get closer, a kind of pathetic fallacy. I have arrived. It is a sensory nightmare. Stark lights and people walking in different directions, and I am not allowed to touch anything. I feel thrown off balance. My vision is assaulted by so much to look at while all of my other senses are ignored. I do not last long at the fair. People keep clambering over my mobility scooter to get to the work beyond it. I take a selfie in front of the wealth management booth. The best thing I see is a hungover gallerist with a ski goggle tan line surrounded by half-finished glasses of rosé. When he notices me perceive him, he flips down his shades, sitting in his sunglasses, on his laptop, in the middle of the exhibition. I do not know which artworks I liked because it was impossible in that atmosphere to feel anything. I return to the lobby to look at my slugs. They hang from the sky, watching all of this. I watch guest after guest walk straight past them, eyes forward to the ticket barrier, barely registering that there might be any artwork at all. This feels appropriate, my rude and naughty aliens huddling together where nobody sees them. After the art fair closes, I hear a rumor that the director of the group who commissioned my artwork is close personal friends with a man who is currently beginning a genocide. I hear that her husband donates 4 times the amount she contributes on marginalized art girlies to a politician who has made it his mission to obliterate arts education in schools. The world is such a horror, I want to slime away. So I just want to remind those of you in the room that the clay is there. We're going to keep on going, but if I could invite you to, for a moment, hold the clay to your nose and take a sniff of the clay. Maybe push your fingers into the clay. And for those of you online, take a sip of your water. Feel it roll around on your tongue and swallow. Feel, those of you in the room and outside, the experience of that, your palms again, the clay between your palms or the wetness between your palms, and ask yourself, how has this space between my palms changed over the course of this reading? Keep working with it as I share with you little vision for a sluggier world. Vision. I want to imagine a world where slugs are sacred, deified. In this world, I see them akin to the lion. Sculptures all around London worship them. Tourists climb on them and take photographs in Trafalgar Square. Or else they're gods, filling houses of worship, living embodiment of Holy Spirit, sliming in ectoplasm. When you find them on your rose bushes, you smile and raise your eyes to heaven, saying, truly, God is everywhere. In this world, children's storybooks and myths and ancient manuscripts center the slug body, the divine, the resilient, the wily, the virile, the abundant, the slippery, the adaptable. In this world, bending to the shape of the space around you is seen as a virtue, as opposed to forcing your shape and your will upon it. It is a virtue to shed one's possessions, to sleep through entire seasons, to follow nature, to embrace soft weather, and then to wake and move through the world unencumbered to wherever the land is full and plenty. The statues in Trafalgar Square, which of course are slugs and not lions, in fact wouldn't need to be there, wouldn't need to be permanent, wouldn't need to be statues at all. In a slug god world, we worship only places in which to slip, to crawl, and lie together in the silent dark. We share moisture and oxygen with whatever bodies are near enough. Slug sex is still sex, but there's more of it. In a slug god world, everyone is doing more foreplay. We are switching gender according to need, tasting the smell of our lovers in the air. In a slug god world, We worship softness. Sex is a three-dimensional spiral, the lover's loop, an open flower. Our statues are still moist and seeping. We quantify their value by texture, running over them with our tentacle fingers. And nobody says, don't touch. They say, enjoy me with all of your senses. Maybe the statues aren't statues at all, but marks on the floor and walls and carpet. Maybe the statues are not statues. They are refracted light, ephemeral and fleeting. Maybe tourists still come to the center of the city to cluster themselves around the glorious light beams, the oil slicks marking our time as humans on a sluggy earth. Let us end with a prayer. Slime Mother, bless me with your slippery wetness. May I slide through cracks, sleep beneath the cold, damp paving. May I overcome the farmer, gorge on lettuce, feed from the fat of the land until my flat belly thickens. May belly merge with foot, foot with knee, knee with collarbone. May less body parts equal lesser pain. May I move across the cold floor, frictionless, emitting iridescent mucus. Blind Mother, weep for our sex, our sections, our sexes, our secretions, our secret joys, our stupid breath, our lack of sleeves, our selfishness, our senselessness, our spit, our shit, our cigarettes, our sediment, our seven sins, our shapely wives, our salt, our six packs, our slim pickings, our smells, our spells, our souls, our slender fingers, our speech, our sick, our solitude, our speed, our success, our sadness, our smug faces, our shame, our souls, our spirits, our spite, our legs in spandex, our silly games, our stupid shapes, our straightness. Slime Mother, weep for our squaring off, our squandered days, our sordid deals, our sour violence, our separatists, our screeching pain, our school children, supremacy, our silence, our simple lack of reverence for sanctity of flesh, oh Slime Mother. May we move toward the earth in oozy congress, intertwined and incandescent. May we start again, sleeping little squiggles in a sticky egg. If anyone wants to show me their slug, I would like to see them if you've made one. And that's the end of the reading. I want to see a slug. Helen, yours is great. Banging. Love it. These are great.